Hello guys, my name is ReconVortex and welcome to the first episode of my new YouTube channel. This was started by my good friend Levi over in Summonshire, but I'm going to show you my 2-year-old creative world. Starting up first, we have the End Island, which I'm going to go over quickly. Here is my computer based off of Mumbo's Season 10 build, where each compartment I just randomly added because, well, I was bored of building other stuff. Over here is a spaceship or a space tugboat, which I built. I'm planning to make more of these in the end because I think it'll be cool to have these like very asteroidy type builds. And then we have the gardens, where there's this massive rainbow river around it, and there's different biomes from like alien planets, like the red one, a orange desert, a new purple like weird gravity thing, and then the green acid bits. And all of it is going to be surrounding a massive tree that I'm going to build in the future. Okay, now we are going to hop through the end portal, see the first ever city I ever made 2 years ago. Inside of the first building, don't mind the interiors, I got way better over my time on this server. And for the theme of the city, I decided to go for a steampunk rustic sort of thing. Because I decided, you know what, we funny, let's mix two little ideas, mash them together, being steampunk and rustic from a randomizer, and this is what came out. Honestly, I'm kind of happy with the build at the time. I would improve it in the future. But anyway, moving on to these weird looking trees I built. I call it, they're sort of ethereal. I don't know how to best describe them, but little Macaz or Levi, as I'm going to call them, I decided, hey, Recon, instead of using actual trunks for these builds, use fence posts to make them look weirdly lighter. And I went with it, and honestly, I think they came out pretty good. Anyway, the rest of the city is going to be regular houses, like this one, and there's one over behind here, that one over there. But all the other houses are going to be themed around different village professions, like the cartographer, the farmer, the butcher, which there's meant to be pigs here, and there's the Fletcher, which will use the chickens, grab their feathers, and then make arrows to shoot at these targets. Here's the fisherman's house, a random church that I built for no apparent reason, a blacksmith. Over here is the stonemason using this pulverizing stone on the rocks. And finally, the potion brewer guy, clergy, I don't know what his name was. And I forgot the librarian right here. But overall, would I improve this build if I did it again? Yes, but it was my first build, and it's nice to see how far I've come in my future. Alright, now we've gone through the portal and we're in the Nether, where this is a lobby-based thing, where I plan to have ever-expanding tunnels all across the Nether, as unfortunately I can't put them on the roof because that's a Java feature. So all these following segments are going to show all the different types of areas that I built, like the steampunk area, this area I'll get to in a minute, and finally the Cherry Mountain. But overall, this is a very unfinished build and a very small area of my current creative work. Anyway, now we are in the overworld. First thing I would like to say is these two were the starting builds, and all the other ones to come were made at a later date. So basically, what I wanted to go for was somewhat like Malaysian, I think it's called. Yeah, Malaysian. Malaysian stacked housing or Philippine stacked housing that I saw on reference images on Google. I'm not going to bring them up because that's a lot of effort. But anyway, as you can see, all very like boxed, stacked housing, and one of the areas which I really like to build, like quite late on, was this little slum area where it would be a small knit community that built under a massive stairway thing, which I like to call the stairway of, I think, either like capitalism or commercial district, where each building is drastically different from the rest, as they all sell like different things. Like this one over here, more like a regular tourist attraction type shop. As you can see, just a very bland building. Then it goes to a nice produce shop, very airy, very open. Then it's an old antique shop due to how old it is, and then so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm planning to go all the way around the mountain, but I've only gotten so far on this side. But on the other side, if we quickly get to it before this capture ends, is the next half, or the finished half, where for a joke I decided to build a massive building which is only for toilets, as we never really build them in our creative worlds or like survival worlds, because obviously our characters don't need to go to the toilet. Anyway, next segment. So this next segment is going to be very nature based, as over here we have the mountains. So I decided to try and mix a more like terracotta redstone base with very jagged cliffs. I don't know why I did this, but I was like 14 at the time. I decided, it'd be cool, very polar opposite things right next to each other. Speaking of, one thing I'm particularly proud of is this massive cloud made of glass, which took a while to make, I would admit, but honestly, I think it came out quite well. Down here is a small forest I'm thinking of expanding, but I don't really know yet. And anyway, if we keep going down here, we have a beautiful valley type, very chaotic forest flowers, a nice rose bush next to an abandoned church, a graveyard, another field with a nice Goda, I don't know what it's called, and a nice little farm area, which I'm planning to make a bigger one down in the southeast, but I'll see what happens then. Anyway, here is an unfinished forest, which is going to take around about 200 more trees to make. But anyway, pretty happy with this area, some nice little details, and moving on to the next segment. Moving on to the next area is going to be a more like Japanese, Chinese inspired area where it's going to be a massive medicinal tree surrounding this big bonsai tree, which I'm planning to make. I mean, the shape's all right, but it needs a lot of work, as do the cliffs around it. But this staircase, though, despite being overly big, is very imposing, and I do like the nether portal design I did for it as well. But overall, I think this is going to be one of the larger projects you'll possibly see me do, and I am not looking forward to it because terrain is quite annoying. Anyway, moving on to this wonderful forest area where all my mates decide to build their little houses, how other things, which I'm going to show in another video. Anyway, now I'm going to show you all the future projects that I have going on, which will be taking a lot more time. Okay, this next one I'm going to take a little bit more of a break trying to explain here, because I feel like I'm taking way too short of a time to explain these areas. This is what I'm going to call Saint Lao, which means Saint Ocean, because I'm very creative. So the idea for this area is that it's a massive man-made river coming from this dam over there, where there's going to be a massive city on top of a mountain. And this area is very run down, a bit pirate themed, where one of the main buildings is just one massive pub area, and overall I want it to be a much more creepier undertone than the rest of my area. One thing I do like is using mud at the bottom of things to make the water look deeper and darker. Anyway, here is the end of this segment. Okay, moving on to new projects. Here is a massive cyberpunk city foundation, where each building is going to be a different parkour area. It's sort of themed after Impulse SB's Hermitcraft 10 base, as well as Etho's now Season 11 base. And going across these wonderful train tracks, we will meet two other punk buildings, like a steampunk area where the main train station is going to be, and a solar punk area where all the farming is going to happen. And moving over, the train station is clearly quite unfinished. And here's the rest of the steampunk area, because behind it is going to be a very diesel punk, Mad Max themed circuit ring. And over here is going to be a massive ocean or lake where all the water is going to be extracted for the steampunk area. And that is pretty much it for this segment. And the last segment is coming up now. So this new area which I'm going to be building is obviously a passion project of mine, where it's going to be based off Tango's mini game called Decked Out, where I'm going to call it the Tower of Time, where each level, like this one right here, which is going to be the caverns, is going to resemble a new era or evolution of human society. As it's neoclassical, maybe the Romans, medieval, indigenous, and so on, all the way until modern day and a cyber future similar to Tokyo. It's going to take the longest area because it is maximum simulation distance I could possibly do, where I'm going to be in an eternal chamber where I'm going to load everything in while other people, my mates, are going to play it. So hopefully I do this on video. Maybe I won't, but it's going to be the largest project that I'll ever do, as it goes from max height to the bottom of a super flat world. So this concludes the tour of the current ETERNIA, and what I hope to see you in one of my newer episodes if they ever come out. Thank you for watching.